Shalom. Welcome to another edition of Great Millstone Mailbag Extra. Comes to you through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bar Shem Yahweh Shai Bar Shem Rakakwadash. All praises and glories due. And as usual, I'm here for another edition of the Daily Edification, the Daily Exhortation. Now I'm going to call this video, it's about total control. It's about total control. And when you go back to the prophecy in Revelation 13 and 16, where it says, "And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads." This he is the top international banking structure of this so-called white man, of Esau, which comes in the form of the Rothschilds, the Rockefellers, which the Rockefellers is nothing but an American counterpart of the Rothschilds. When the Rothschilds, some of them broke off and they came over here to America, they started calling themselves by that name, Rockefeller. And that's what these top banking families do. When they come over to America, they change their names. Okay, so you don't know really who they're identified with. Okay, that's a ploy they've been doing for years. And like it says in the prophecy, he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark. Now, the reason why he would cause them to receive a mark, which is that chip, that RFID chip, is for total control. Total control over the human population. That's what the bankers want. They want total control. And when I say total control, I mean total control. They want to be gods. They want to be masters of the universe. Remember that cartoon He-Man? And what did He-Man look like? He looked like a so-called white man, blonde hair, blue eyes. Okay? And the tagline was masters of the universe. Well, that's what they want to be. They want to be gods. They want to be masters of the universe. They want their birthright back. They want to rule the whole planet Earth in total control, which is what we are going to get when Yahweh Shai comes back. Okay, we're going to rule this planet Earth in total control, beginning with Yahweh Shai. That's what these bankers want, which is Esau, Edom. And that's why they would want to put a chip in you. So it's about total control. And I have sources to prove this. And what inspired me to do this video was towards the latter part of the video you see here on screen, which was done by Elder Apostle Tahar, entitled the RFID and NFC and the Hour of Temptation, which the Hour of Temptation is dealing with us Israelites, where when this devil makes this chip mandatory, because he will make it mandatory because it's about total control, that's what he wants, that will bring that hour of temptation that the Lord said he would bring upon all the earth. Let's go in the book of Revelation 3 and 10, which is where we find that scripture. So, brothers, it's about total control. And you don't get total control by an embargo, total control over the world's population by an embargo or by Christianity. When I say total control, I mean total control. But you could get that with that chip. Okay? And like I said, I got a couple of sources that proves this. All right? Especially the latter source. Okay? The first source will be an introduction to it, and then the latter source nails it. Okay, but before I do that, let me bring out the scripture. Revelation 3 and 10. Which says, "Because thou hast kept the word of my patience," which is talking to us, the hopeful elect. The word of his patience means this truth, this knowledge, and we keep it through patience, which is suffering. Patience, when you go into the Latin word for patience, it literally means suffering. Okay, that's where you get the word passion from. When somebody's passionate, they're really suffering because they're passionate about something. They're suffering with it. Okay, because thou hast kept the word of my patience, I also will keep thee. The I is the Heavenly Father Yahweh through his Son Yahweh Shai, or the angels. I also will keep thee from the hour of temptation. So Yahweh Yahweh, while Yahweh Shai, while the angels, which the angels work for Yahweh, while Yahweh Shai, they will protect us from the hour of temptation. Part of that hour of temptation is when that chip is made mandatory. And the use of the word hour is a metaphor. Really, it should say a time of temptation, because that's what's coming. All right. Which shall come upon all the world. Why? Why shall it come upon all the world? Because the banking families want everybody in the world chipped. Why do they want everybody in the world chipped? For total control. For total control. And we'll see this. Okay. I will keep thee from the hour of temptation. So the Lord will protect us from getting that chip, his holy elect, which shall come upon all the world to try them that dwell upon the earth. There you go. Now, let me play a little bit of Elder Apostle Tar's video, which, like I said, towards the latter part of the video inspired me, and that was yesterday. And I said I would save this, the making of this video for the topic this morning. So without further ado, let me get into it.
Okay, now I'm going to give you, and you've been seeing this up on the screen, entitled Stop Human Implantation of RFID Microchip. And this was a young lady that put this up 7 years ago.
Now the key word there is human implantation of RFID chip. Human as in the whole world. These top banking families want the whole world chipped. And why is that? For total control over human beings. And like I said, I got my sources. Let's move on.
So we're talking what, 2011? And I'll read some of it. What I'll do is this was put up by Amy Salisbury, started this petition 7 years ago to U.S. government, U.S. Senate, U.S. Congress, U.S. House, and the United Nations. So she sent copies to all these government bodies. And they're all in on it. Either they're in on it or they don't know what the hell is going on. Either way, they're going to take the chip. If you're in the military, you have to take the chip. If you're in law enforcement, you have to take the chip. If you work at government jobs, you're going to have to take the chip.
And I'll say it again, repetition is the father of skill. The chip affords the bankers total control. It's about total control.
Ultimately, any job that you work in, you're going to have to take that chip. It says that the UN and USA are trying to implement a law that requires everyone worldwide to be implanted with an RFID microchip.
Why? Again, total control. That's why. Why would they want everybody on the planet Earth chipped? For total control.
They're trying to make it out to be a good thing for us, stating that it will make life easier and also reduce crime, which it will. But just because life is easier, that doesn't make it right.
Yeah, and that's the angle that they're going to push. Life will become easier if you take that chip. And it'll certainly become easier for them to tag and identify everybody and control everybody. Okay? Which is what they want.
It goes on to say, because no one will be able to make a move or speak a word without the government knowing about it.
What does that afford, people? Total control. I mean, are you waking up? Is it starting to click in your head now? You Israelites that downplaying the chip. You know, I say it again, man. A lot of you Israelites, man, a lot of you ain't too smart, man. A lot of you ain't too smart. A lot of you ain't too bright. Okay? And forget about acumen. Okay? And being shrewd. All right? Forget about that. Okay? A lot of you don't have that. All right? About the only thing you know is that you're Israelite. Really, that's about it. Okay? Very few of you have that acumen to be able to see through these prophecies, especially this prophecy concerning the chip.
However, this chip is just another method of government control and a step closer to the New World Order.
That's it. That's what it's all about. Total control. And by the way, it was Elder Apostle Tao brought out the word government. He was the first that I heard break it down. The word government literally means, govern means control. Ment is Latin for mind. In the Latin, the word for mind is mentis. So government, put it together. Government means control mind. Control mind. That's what the word literally means. And that's what a government is set up to do. A government in reality is set up to control your mind.
With this RFID chip, all of our money, information, medical history, and everything will be programmed into this chip. No more Social Security cards, birth.
Which Social Security was a prelude. Remember what the book of Psalms, the 64th chapter, tells us, that they accomplish a diligent search. These devils are always searching for ways for control over human beings. Okay? And having said that, let me pause from this video. That brings me to my first source to show you its total control. Now, this was taken from G. Edward Griffin's The Capitalist Conspiracy, which is about 47 minutes long. I'm at the 24th minute, around the 52nd second or seconds. And you're going to clearly hear him say that the bankers want control. Now, this video was made back in 1969, 1970. So the information in here is quite credible. Okay, this is around 1969, 1970. Very few people knew about the Illuminati or the secret banking power structure. All right, so the information in here is quite credible. So let me play that.
After a man has far more money than he possibly can spend for pleasures, what is left to excite him? For those with a ruling class mentality, the answer is power, raw power over other human beings. Money can buy such power only to a point. Beyond that, politics is the sport, and world politics is the ultimate game.
So there it is. Raw power over other human beings. Control. Now that chip affords the bankers raw power over other human beings, man. That's what it's all about. That's why when you go back to the prophecy, that's why he would cause all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell save he that had the mark. Total control, or the number of the beast, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. Total control. And that was my first source, from G. Edward Griffin. And that's one of the videos when I first learned about the Illuminati. This was this was the first video that I saw. And I remember when I first seen it, I said, this is a very good video, man. And I still feel that way to this day. That was way back in 1995 when I first saw this video. And I still feel that way to this day. This is an excellent video that you brothers should get into, because he just drops it, the information in this video. And like I said, it came out from a time when the knowledge of the Illuminati was not popular. This is 1969, 1970, as it is now. So something to take into consideration. So you just heard him say raw power over other human beings. And that's what the chip can afford. The chip can afford these bankers raw power over other human beings. They have all the money in the world that they need. So what's left to excite them? Making the chip mandatory will excite the bankers. That excites them. That gives them that rush of feeling like they're a god. Masters of the universe. He-Man, if you will. Come on, man. You can't see that? Now here's the next source. Now this is one of the reasons why I believe that they had Aaron Russo bumped off. Okay? Even though he had cancer, was fighting cancer. Cancer can be cured, man. Okay? Cancer can be cured. With the right steps, it can be cured. All right. So, but they're not going to bring the cure for cancer out because cancer is a big money making industry, man. You know how many people would be out of work if the cure for cancer came out? How many people would lose money, all kinds of money? As a matter of fact, what's his name? Eustace Mullins. Okay, there's a video out there called "Murder by Injection." Okay, that's a video that you brothers should check out, where he goes into the medical industry of how much of a big scam it is. Okay, how it's really a money-making industry. Okay, how the bankers got rid of the people that practice medicine by herbs and replaced it with that pharmaceutical industry. Okay, I mean, that's a very interesting story behind that. And that's Esau for you. He was blessed with the sword. The sword is what? Destruction. And that's what he is, the harbinger of death. All right. But that's another video for another time. Let me get into my second source.
The ultimate goal that these people have in mind is the goal to create a one world government.
Now, this is from Aaron Russo, RFID human implant chip. And I find Aaron Russo to be very credible. You can look in the man's eyes and see he's sincere. If he was lying, first of all, he'd have shades on. A lot of those pundits, New World Order pundits, they'll hide their eyes. They'll wear these dark shades. This guy, he has nothing to hide. Okay, he was honest. He was an honest dude. And that's my humble opinion.
Run by the banking industry, run by the bankers, and they're doing it in sections. The European currency, the euro, and the European Constitution is one part of it. Now they're trying to do it in America.
And we got the euro to this day. The euro is still in effect over there in Europe to this day.
With the North American Union, right? And they want to create a new currency called the Amero, right? And the whole agenda is to create a one world government where everybody has an RFID chip implanted in them. All money is to be in those chips, right? There'll be no more cash. And this is getting me straight from Rockefeller himself. This is what they want to accomplish. And
now remember, the Rockefellers are really Rothschilds, okay? This guy was friendly with one of the Rockefellers. Now all of a sudden now, this guy Nick Rockefeller, who Aaron Russo was friendly with, all of a sudden now he doesn't exist. Okay, there was never no Nick Rockefeller. And that's what these devils do. It's called plausible deniability. Look that term up. Plausible deniability. In other words, a license to lie and to cheat. This is what these devils do. That's their blessing, to be deceivers. Okay, Esau, Edom.
All money will be in your chips. And so instead of having cash, anytime you have money in your chip, they can take out whatever they want to take out whenever they want to. If they say you owe us this much money in taxes, they just deduct it out of your chip digitally.
Total control.
Total control.
Did you hear what Alex Jones said? Which the hell with Alex Jones. He's nothing but a shill for he's between the two, Aaron Russo and Alex Jones. Alex Jones is the most phoniest. Okay? But he did say, even from a phony like Alex Jones, he did say something true. Total control. And this is before Alex Jones went crazy. Okay? All right? He said total control. And Aaron Russo fell right into step. He said, yep, total control. So that's what it's about. So when you go back to the prophecy, it makes sense why he would cause all, both small and great, to receive this mark for total control. It's all about total control. It's all about total control over human beings. You heard G. Edward Griffin say, after a man has more money than he can possibly spend, what is left to excite him? For those with a ruling class mentality, raw power over other human beings. And that's how these bankers think. Okay? That's how they think. That's their method of thinking. Raw power over other human beings. Now, the average Jake don't think like that. Okay? You don't have a ruling class mentality.
And if you're like me or you, and you're protesting what they're doing, they can just turn off your chip.
Total control.
And you have nothing. You can't buy food. You can't do anything.
And that excites the bankers. That excites them. Just like when we get in power, we're going to have total control. That's going to excite us. If you have a ruling class mentality, you'll understand this. But if you have a slave class mentality, you won't. This understanding you won't get it. It won't resonate with you.
Total control of the people.
And that chip's connected to a database that has your purchasing records, what you do, what
Everything.
you sell.
Everything is in there, you know? And so they want a one world government controlled by them, everybody being chipped, all your money in those chips, and they control the chips and they control people. And you become a slave. You become a serf.
And by them getting that would mean they would be getting their birthright, because that's going to be our birthright. You know, we're not going to put chips in people. All right. Beginning with Yahweh Shai, when we take over the planet, we're not going to put chips in people, but through spiritual power and power from Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, yes, we are going to rule over all the other nations. Okay. I will give you. We're going to get what these bankers want. You know what? Let me get Psalms 2. Because what Yahweh Shai is going to get, which is raw power over all the nations, is what we're going to get, because we're going to be joint heirs with Yahweh Shai. Okay. You go in the first verse, why do the heathen rage and the people imagine a vain thing? That's your bankers and all the other nations that imagine a vain thing, meaning having us Israelites as perpetual slaves, the people of the Lord. And one way starting with Esau, one way they want to get is through that chip. Esau is going to be the main one pushing that chip for control. You know, the kings of the earth set themselves and the rulers take counsel against the Lord and against his anointed. Who is his anointed? Israelites. Saying, let us break their bands asunder and cast away their cords. You know, let us enslave them perpetually. Let us put a chip in them. And then you go down to the 4th verse. He that sitteth in the heavens shall laugh. The Lord shall have them in derision. Right, because the Heavenly Father Yahweh is going to upset their plans when he sends back his son Yahweh Shai to destroy their enterprise, which is the so-called New World Order, which part of that New World Order is that chip, the chipping, the mandatory chipping of the people across the world. Now, if you jump, here's the raw power part. Psalm 2 and 8, or Psalm 2 and 7. I will declare the decree, the Lord hath said unto me, thou art my son, this day have I begotten thee. And that was fulfilled in Yahweh Shai. Ask of me, and I shall give thee the heathen, that includes Esau, Edom, for thine inheritance. Slaves. Raw power over other human beings. That's what Yahweh Shai will get. And through Yahweh Shai getting that, we're going to get it. Because pursuant to Romans the 8th chapter, we will be joint heirs with Yahweh Shai. An heir is someone who's set to receive an inheritance. What's Yahweh Shai's inheritance? Raw power over other human beings, the other nations. What's going to be our inheritance? Because of Yahweh Shai's inheritance, raw power over other human beings, the other nations. There you go. Ask of me, and I shall give thee the heathen for thine inheritance, and the uttermost parts of the earth for thy possession. Raw power over other human beings. Thou shalt break them with a rod of iron. Raw power over other human beings. Thou shalt dash them in pieces like a potter's vessel. Raw power over other human beings. That's what we're going to get. So that's what the bankers want. And they think they're going to get it through that chip. Okay? But it ain't going to happen. That's why, well, like the scriptures say, the Lord, he that sitteth in the heavens shall laugh. The Lord shall have them in derision. And even now I'm laughing. I'm laughing at the bankers now, because you ain't going to get what you think you're going to get. You're not going to have everybody chipped. Okay, the Lord will upset your plans. But you're going to try. I'll give you that. You're going to try. All right, so basically that's it. That's the video, okay? The reason why that he would cause all, both small and great, rich and poor, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, is for raw power over other human beings. It's for total control. It's all about total control. So with that, this has been GMS Mailbag Extra for another edition of the Daily Edification. Hopefully you brothers were edified. And I'll see you in the next video. Shalom for now.